Hey, sibling. Okay, I've been looking at the reports where I fought back a solo from this K-44 and Ariel fought back a rally from it. So we're going to look at layer by layer where we beat it. And then I'm going to look at your report and we're going to talk about what we have that you don't. And that tells you the next thing to work on. And so far, long story short, I got to agree with Heck. Let me show you why. Okay. I've already been through this a little bit in the last video, so I won't bore you to death with the details. We'll look at my ground troop defense and HP, both of them above 1500. Long story short, your siege machine attack is already where mine is. Your range debuff is almost where mine is. Okay. Now, let's get to the good stuff. The T-14 ground layer, he killed slightly more than I did. So 700 and 300 is a million. 9 and 8, 17. So that's 1.17 million troops versus 1,088,000 troops that I killed. So he killed over 500,000 or over 100,000 more troops than I did. I lost on the T-14 layer. Okay. My range and mount layers got wiped embarrassingly, but the mount was out of there. You ghosted your mount, so that's not really something we need to discuss. Siege layers, of course, killed over 600,000 troops with no losses. Okay, now let's get down here where I'm starting to notice it's going our way. My T-13 ground kills 1.1 million and loses less than 150,000 soldiers. T-13 siege, of course, takes no losses. I had my T-13 mounts in there, so it probably would have been more even. I wouldn't have lost it by much. Now we're getting down to the T-12 ground troops. 840,000 soldiers it killed. Only lost 137,000. I didn't have that fully healed. I'd lost it, a little bit of it in a previous hit. Range layer gets wiped. My T-12 is very robust, so that may be a liability there in these defenses, but it helps to be able to launch multiple range attacks in battlefield. So, of course, the T-12 siege, 304,000 kills, no damage. You don't have a bunch of siege, and we know why you don't have a bunch of siege. To fight one of these, you might want to think about building siege. That's something to think about, something to discuss. It's a lot of resources, and you don't want to embark on that without knowing that you know you're going to need it. But just look what it's doing for me. Just something to think about. Okay, now T-11 ground troop. 628,000 kills versus less than 150,000 soldiers lost. I've got 2 million ground troops, every layer down to T9. And your ground buffs are almost there where you could do that. So, I mean, look at how many kills just my one keep is getting against this thing. T-11 siege killed 246,000, no damage. I mean, you add that up, that's what? 246 plus 304, that's 546. Plus 380, that's 846, 926. And yeah, 1.5 million range troops that my siege layers have killed so far, just down to T-11. Now, the T-10 and T-9 ground troops, look at the kills. I mean, T8 ground troop, we're starting to see more even Steven, but I don't have but 1,000,000 of those. So that's something you don't have. And we'll look at where you took losses. This is you. Okay. Now you're facing a 3,300 buff in a rally. So you got 1.5 million T14s, but remember, I took a loss at the T14 layer on ground troops. So your buffs are just a bit south of mine. You've got almost the same ground troop defense. You've got like 300 less ground troop HP. Okay. So a loss on the T14 is to be expected, but you have hardly any siege at all. And you know, that's a lot of kills that you need against something like this. And your siege attack is the same as mine. Now get down here to T13s. You got 1.1 million. Look how many kills you got. That's a significant amount of kills. Now look at your T12. You got 600,000 of them. This is getting into what Heck was talking about. You don't have a midsection. Are you seeing the difference in the amount of kills? Now look at the T11s. Less than 200,000. You got less than 100,000 kills there. You know, that's something I've got that you don't, that helped me fight him off. You've got the T1 layer on top of that. And your T11 gets 350,000 kills. You got almost 1,000,000 T11s, which that layer's developed siege. But your T10s, there's only 150,000 of them. You got 30,000 kills. Your T9 ground, you got 19,000 kills. There's only 150,000 of them. Now, when you fight him off, let's go back to where I fought him off. It's your ground and your siege is going to be doing most of your kills. Your range is going to take a pounding. Going to get a few kills, but it's your ground and your siege that's going to do your killing. And so and take a look at the ground and the amount of kills. I've got 1,000,000 more ground troops on the layers where you do have 1,000,000 ground troops, and I've got 1.7 million more ground troops on T11 and down. So when Heck's talking about you building a midsection, just look at the kills. That's where the wins are going to come from when we get hit with those 3,300 range buffs. So on top of a more robust T1 layer, you're going to need a more robust ground. And I'm going to say siege too, because look at the amount of kills that the siege gets. If you fight them off, the siege don't get hurt. And these big ego motherfuckers, they just throw that range attack at anything and expect it to just smash or win on points. And most of the time it does. But Yeah, I've got a more robust midsection, and take a look at what it does. The T8s, there's only 1 million of them, but they got 79,000, almost 80,000 kills, lost 50,000 soldiers. That's still a win. And every layer where that happens, the siege get kills and don't get hurt. Now see down here, I've only got 377,000 T7 ground troops. And I guess by then all the other kills had added up where they don't have to do a lot of fighting. That's a win. That your wins are going to come. My point is, long story short, there's the proof of it. Your wins against a huge range buff like that, they're going to come in the ground and siege layers. Your mount layers and a lot of your range layers are going to get wiped, or at least beaten. So, for your defense building forward, see right there it's starting to even up. And they're starting to get the best of me at the T4 and T5 ground troops. Still, the lower tier siege is killing and not getting hurt. So, on a final note, I got 35 million T1 mounted troops. Don't ask me why there's that many. I don't really need them. I haven't buffed them, but I think it came with that many when we bought it. But they still got 10,000 kills. Let's go over to what happened to you on the lower tiers. You still got 212,000 kills there. Is it worth you spending another 8 billion resources in food and lumber to build another 100 million T1s? Considering the hits that Monkey took with 300 million T1s and those refines, we got to find a way to protect your higher tiers and give you that T1 layer too. And then these re-ins that you got, if I fail to put one in there because, well, there's 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 6,000, 10,000, 14,000, 15,000. Okay, 665,000, 660,000, 664,000, 1.2 million kills. Okay, I got 1.3 million kills roughly with just my one ground march. And then this one got about 3. It got 2 bronze chests from the amount of kills. If I can get 3 of them in there, they'll get more kills if we can get these guys to send something besides range, because look what Mace did. Yeah. Mace got nearly 1 million kills. So if everybody sends ground in there and I can get one more, we'll just say that's 6 million kills. Your defense next time, if we make those improvements, we'll still lose 2 billion power, you may still get zeroed. But look at the amount of troops that's there. Look how many survived. Survived up top 3 million, survived down bottom 10 million. I mean, that's 13 million troops that survived. Let's take a look at what they are. I mean, we killed a lot of those higher tiers. We killed a lot of T-15s. So somebody got a lot of points off that. But look, 750,000 T-14s survived. 1.4 million T-13s survived. 560,000 T-12 survived. Just on that guy. Let's go over to this guy. 433,000 T-12 survived. 2.6 million T-13 survived. 685 T-14 survived. These are higher tier troops that are surviving. I mean, even if we could narrow that up to where... Let's take a look at what REL took from them. They sent less at us, but... Where are you at? Okay. Alright. REL took 2.3 billion power from them. And they sent 7 instead of 4. So, let's just say we take 1.3 billion, 1.4 billion. That's more of a win in our favor. That's more points spread around for everybody. That's more chests. That's more Ares blood and treasure boxes and runestone chests, which is what we all need to get the buffs that we need. And so next time if you lose, it's more rewards for everybody if you make those improvements. If you splat them, then that's probably 300-400 million positive for us. So I know I've said a lot of confusing shit. So the difference, I think, with what Heck told you and what... Well, hold on. Let's put this in perspective, just so to hammer home a point. I lost this range attack against a 1.1 billion keep. I have a 1900 solo attack buff. The defender took a loss on their T-14 ground. Their range got wiped. Their mounted got wiped. Their siege hit me with no losses, which is what always happens when they don't get zeroed. Their T-13 ground got a win on me. They kill 1.4 million of my soldiers. They lose 400,000 of their soldiers. Their T-13 range gets wiped. Their T-13 mount gets wiped. Their siege hits me with no losses. Are you seeing a pattern when a range attack wins but doesn't splat you? Your wins are going to come in the ground and siege layers against those kinds of attacks. The T-12, they didn't have many T-12 ground in there, but they got a win against me. 19,000 of my soldiers, I killed 7,000 of theirs. Their siege killed 74,000 of my soldiers, took no losses. Let's go down to T-11. T-11, same thing. They killed 13,000 of my soldiers, lost 6,000. Their siege killed 33,000 of my soldiers, no losses. Their range and their mounted got wiped. Every layer, it's like that. Your wins are going to come against attacks like that. Your wins are going to come T9 ground and up. and T9 siege and up. You need more and you need stronger there. And, well, to have a more robust T1 layer, you need more T1s and you need those flat refines back. So, there's the pattern. Am I making sense? I probably ran this home too much, but let's take a look at the one where REL beat him. Okay. Now this is ICE's defense. But look at ICE's buffs. ICE's ground defense and HP are bigger than mine. ICE's ground defense is 1800. ICE's HP defense ground is 1600. Now the rest of those buffs are huge. You've got better range and mount buffs than I do already. ICE's siege machine attack and defense is 1700. ICE's ranged troop debuff is 1400. So just improving those three things, let's see how he worked out. His T14 ground mopped the floor with these motherfuckers. His siege killed 60,000 with no damage. But look, his range and his mount were taking a pounding. See the pattern? Now, his T13s are looking about like mine. I've just got more with near his buffs. His range and his mount layers were taking a pounding. His siege kills them with no damage. Same thing. You see the pattern? Look at the T12 ground troop. 1.3 million kills for ICE, 48,000 troops lost. His T12 siege killed 40,000 soldiers, no losses. His range is actually winning. So, well, we know what he did. And we know how he did it. And then look, he got shit for re-ins right there. Voltron's probably going to be the first to do what Nagard did. Nagard put in a T-15 ground march with level 43 generals. And got over 6 million kills with just those two layers. You go on down, that's almost another million kills. Just that one march. So, if Voltron gets in there, you've got a chance at beating this and with just a couple months of work. All right, I've said enough. I hope that didn't confuse you. I hope you saw the pattern. Your wins against those big 3,300 buff marches, and this is the same thing that hit you. Look at that 3313, same K44. So we got enough data on it where your wins are going to come in your high tiers and in your ground and siege layers. Let's see what his T1 layer did. Just for shits and giggles, because I think you might ask when I'm done with the video. I think you're wishing I'd shut up right now. Okay, he's got 900 million T1s. They got 5.7 million kills, so you do need a more robust T1 layer for sure. And you're going to want to keep those flat refines. You got to add more cement on top of the house of cards you've already built. But there's what you can do. And of course, I'm going to be doing more reinforcing blazing and other things to try to push everybody all the way over the top. And I'm going to tell them to do that. And we'll have something that can fight these sons of bitches off. All right, that's it.